You can open a grade 5 safe in 45 seconds just by listening to it breathe. You do not need heavy power tools or shaped explosive charges. You just need a modified medical stethoscope and hands steady enough to feel a shift of 1/10 of a millimeter inside a solid steel door. But that extremely rare skill is completely useless in this rundown, dusty carpentry shop on the edge of the city. You spend your days sanding cheap oak cabinets, inhaling sawdust, and trying to forget your criminal past. Until one rainy Thursday night, 3 men walk through your shop door long after closing time. They do not introduce themselves. The man in the front simply unrolls a massive sheet of blue paper onto your workbench, brushing aside the wood shavings. It is the original architectural blueprint for the subterranean vault of the central bank, and that is the exact moment you realize you can never truly outrun your destiny. They tell you they do not need money. They tell you they need time. The vault is buried 50 meters underground, protected by seismic sensors, armed patrols, and a custom-built dual combination lock that weighs more than a car. If they use thermite or diamond drills, the vibration will trigger an immediate lockdown protocol and seal the vault forever. The only way in is through absolute silence. The only way in is you. The leader calls himself Ledger. He is calm, methodical, and speaks like a military tactician. The muscle is Silas, a man whose silence feels heavy and incredibly dangerous. The third is Gray, the logistics guy, whose eyes constantly dart around calculating risks and payouts. They offer you a $3 million cut to do one single thing. Listen to the steel and turn a dial. You stare at the blueprint. The sheer mechanical complexity of the central bank vault is beautiful to you. It is a masterpiece of secure engineering. And heaven help you, you desperately want to break it. For the next 3 months, your life becomes a relentless symphony of metal and tension. They move you to an abandoned warehouse outside the city limits. Inside, Gray has somehow managed to construct a perfect 1-to-1 replica of the vault door mechanism based on the stolen schematics. You stop sleeping entirely. You spend 18 hours a day with your ear pressed against the cold steel, turning the massive brass dial inch by painful inch. You teach yourself how to bypass the internal glass relockers without shattering them. You file down custom bumping keys from scrap metal found in the yard. You learn the exact acoustic difference between a false set and a true gate dropping into place inside the locking wheel. It is an exhausting, maddening process. But something else happens in that isolated warehouse. You start to feel a deep sense of belonging. Ledger brings you hot coffee at 2 a.m. and talks about buying a massive stretch of land in South America where no government can ever find them. Silas watches your back and ensures you have every specialized tool you request. You start to truly believe in the brotherhood of the crew. But Gray always looks at you like you are a math equation he is trying to solve, constantly calculating your expiration date. You ignore the tight knot of anxiety in your stomach. You focus entirely on the clicks. You focus on the prize. You tell yourself that the bond forged in the darkness of this warehouse will hold together under the crushing pressure of the real heist. You are a master of reading complex mechanical locks, but you are absolutely terrible at reading human beings. Deep 50 meters underground, there is no brotherhood, only oxygen and greed. The approach is entirely through the municipal sewer system. You are crawling through a dark concrete pipe, barely 3 feet wide. The air smells like decay and wet iron. You hear the constant drip of black water and the heavy, terrified sound of your own heartbeat. Gray is crawling ahead of you, his flashlight beam trembling. Silas is right behind you, silent as a ghost. The tension in the tunnel is suffocating. Suddenly, Ledger radios in from the surface. The night shift security guards have unpredictably changed their patrol route. They are 10 minutes early. Gray immediately panics, his breathing turning shallow and erratic. He wants to abort the mission, but Ledger's voice through the earpiece remains terrifyingly calm. He tells you to keep moving. You reach the reinforced concrete wall of the vault anteroom. Silas uses a silent chemical compound to eat through the outer barrier. You step into the freezing, sterile darkness of the main vault chamber. The target is right in front of you. A massive circular door made of polished titanium and hardened steel. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You step up to the dial, your hands shaking slightly. You press the cold metal of your modified stethoscope against the vault surface. You close your eyes and tune out the world. You hear the deep, heavy thud of the internal tumblers falling into place. It sounds like the heartbeat of a sleeping metal giant. A drop of sweat falls from your forehead and splatters onto the brass dial. You carefully turn the wheel left, then right, then left again. 3 clicks down, 1 to go. The guards are walking directly above you right now. You can feel the faint vibration of their boots through the ceiling. You hold your breath. You turn the dial 1 final fraction of an inch. A massive, satisfying mechanical clunk echoes through the chamber. It is the most beautiful sound you have ever heard. You step back and pull the heavy steel lever. The vault door swings open with a soft sigh of displaced air. Inside, under the harsh fluorescent lights, are rows upon rows of solid gold bars. It is more wealth than you could ever spend in 100 lifetimes. Gray lets out a breathless laugh and immediately rushes into the vault. He grabs a heavy canvas bag and starts frantically shoving gold bars inside. The Brotherhood is completely forgotten in the face of absolute greed. That is when the true heist actually begins. A deafening gunshot rings out in the confined space. The sound bounces off the steel walls and physically hits your eardrums. Gray drops the bag of gold and collapses onto the cold floor. Silas is standing behind him, a suppressed pistol smoking in his hand. You freeze in absolute terror. Silas slowly turns the barrel of the gun toward your chest. The earpiece crackles. Ledger tells Silas to finish the job and secure the vault. The shocking realization hits you instantly. There was never going to be a beach in South America. There was never going to be a $3 million cut. Ledger and Silas plan to use your unique skills to open the door and then bury you in the vault alongside the stolen gold. The Brotherhood was just a psychological tool used to manipulate you. Silas steps forward, raising the gun to your head. But Silas is a killer, not a locksmith. He does not understand how the internal locking mechanism works. You kick the heavy steel door backward with all your strength. It slams into Silas, knocking the gun from his hand. Before he can recover, you grab your tension wrench from your pocket and jam it directly into the exposed locking gears on the outside of the door. You spin the exterior dial violently, forcing the heavy tumblers to crash down out of sequence. You just locked the vault from the outside. Silas is trapped inside a steel box 50 meters underground. The sudden mechanical failure triggers the silent alarm system. Blinking red lights illuminate the chamber. You do not wait to see what happens next. You sprint back into the dark, filthy sewer pipe, abandoning the gold, abandoning the crew, abandoning everything. You run through the pitch-black maze of tunnels, listening to the distant wail of police sirens gathering on the surface. You leave Ledger panicking on the radio, trying to figure out why his perfect plan just collapsed. You are sitting in another rundown carpentry shop in a country that does not ask questions. A single gold bar sits on your dusty workbench next to your old medical stethoscope. You survived the greatest heist in history, but you will never sleep soundly again. You realize that the hardest safe in the world is not made of titanium or hardened steel. It is made of the calculated lies that human beings tell each other. You can pick a grade 5 lock in 45 seconds, but you can never pick the lock on human greed. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, hit that sub,